So Tim, you focus on virtual events, virtual webinars, all kinds of virtual conferences. Explain exactly your model with virtual events and what's unique and how they're so impactful in today's world.
Right, Paul. Well, thanks. I would start off just by saying, before I explain what we do, we are telling event directors, we are telling CEOs, we are telling pretty much anyone we come in contact with, do not cancel your event. There are, every day, there's new technologies coming out, there are new platforms, new tools, new virtual tools that can pull off almost anything, from a conference of 5,000 people to virtual runs. So that is what we are seeing. We use this really dynamic virtual platform that basically emulates all the aspects of a conference, from your main stage speakers to your breakout sessions to your expo floor and your expo booth, where you can literally go into that booth and interact with a sponsor. So it's really dynamic. There's networking functions where you can literally meet people from all over the world. So in terms of a conference, we're seeing technology catch up very quickly. And honestly, the future, Paul, is really hybrid events. We are all hoping that we get to hug people and come back in person one day. And when that happens, why not keep the virtual component? So that is the world that we are going into.
Well, I've talked to a lot of marketers lately, and specifically even on this topic, and a lot of them are like, when things are a little bit more back to normal, we might still host an annual in-person event, but maybe our monthly or quarterly events are done virtually. It seems like a very great and smart strategy to be hybrid, like you said.
Absolutely.
So how does what you're doing fit into the audience innovation model for engaging for a client, their best customers?
Gosh, we call it 360-degree marketing, really, where you are now have your hands in all spaces, where you exist or have a presence in all spaces. For the virtual space, you can engage with literally anyone in the world with a Wi-Fi connection. But then we complement that with those in-person one day with those in-person events. With mailers, we see people doing physical mailers still. So in brand activations, we can do that online, as well as we're seeing some of that here in Denver, where brands are not wasting any time. They're capitalizing on this moment. They'll do a virtual activation as well as a small shop activation. So
well, I think with,
comprehensive.
Well, and I think everything about what we're talking about is this 360, but it's like truly 360. We're using even the Cover App platform to put your message right in their hand, and then to drive them into your online platforms, including, let's say we targeted 5,000 CEOs to your Cover App program as a targeted message from your CEO to those CEOs, and then we invited all them to a virtual event.
Right.
It's almost like mini events, like MINI, mini events, contained inside of bigger events that are working for that specific target audience. And this is how niche and specific it's getting.
Absolutely. And the data that we get to collect on people, not that we're going to misuse that, but the data where we get to connect with them on their social platforms, as well as the content that is produced, businesses are going to have massive amounts of really well-produced content for later use in print, on social media platforms, and they've connected with their audience, their target audience, virtually as well. So
well, and I presume, and I'm gonna make kind of a sounds stupid statement, but it's just to make sure we're on the same page. Once that event has occurred, that event lives in history.
That event lives on. We will cut micro content from that, like I said, for later delivery. It's endless. It is so worth the investment and the bang for the buck that you get out of a virtual event. It will live on. It will be archived. You can really use that however you want.
Well, the magic here is engaging target audiences in content that's relevant. It's kind of non-pitchy. It's educational. And I've seen this platform, and I don't know how to say it. You probably have a better way of saying it, but I mean, this is not like Zoom. This is unbelievably kind of sophisticated. It looks sharp.
That's what I was going to say, Paul, is our little tagline is "Don't Zoom, experience," because the tools are moving to the next level of interactivity, engagement. We have a tool that on your cell phone, while you're engaged in the conference on your desktop, you can clap for a speaker, and the speaker will hear the clapping. You can do real-time voting. You can do real-time question and answers with your speaker on the main stage. It's truly going to the next level where we can actually be participants in this event, in this conference, whatever your event is.
Well, you know, I'm a fan, and I'm pleased to bring it to our core customers, and I appreciate your time.
Hey, I appreciate your time. Thanks, Paul, for all you're doing.